So here's Dior, and this is day 4. She got to spend the night in her stall, and because we had some pretty bad weather. And she still isn't eating grain or anything. I'm trying to work on introducing that to her. I like to introduce them to Grow and Win, which is a ration balancer. But she's not quite keen on that yet. She's still enjoying her hay. She's a really good hay eater. And so I'm just getting her kind of like reacquainted, saying, hey girl, like it's all right. And we're going to go for a little jaunt out of our stall. And I figured I would take her back to the wash rack and see what I could get accomplished in there. And she's walking really nicely. She handles that really well. She's pretty soft and light in the halter, and she's pretty bold, I have to say. She's not very spooky about certain I've had other Mustangs that all that kind of stuff would bother them, but not her. She's pretty good about that stuff. So now walking into the wash rack, which we had done yesterday. And she remembered, so that was nice. And kind of like the main goal was to reapply some swat on her face to keep the bugs off. Because I think I was going to try to put her back out in the round pen, but I actually decided since she was so good, I was going to try her out in the paddock. But she's still a little hesitant and unsure. That's okay. And just keep reassuring her that it's not that big of a deal. And then she realizes that it's not that big of a deal. Next, I grabbed the hairbrush and was going to give her a little bit of a brush, but I did not introduce it to her like I've done in the past, and so that spooked her a little bit. But she still handled that okay. So now I'm going to go and ask her to come back into the wash rack again. And just reestablish again that everything's okay. And then she went, oh yeah, I remember this part. This wasn't so bad. And I did actually notice that she had a good sleep in the in her stall overnight. So that's really good if they're feeling comfortable enough to lay down and sleep in the stall. Sometimes that can take a minute, but I think she feels pretty safe and comfortable in the barn. And so then I just sped this up a little bit as I took the time to brush out her mane. And then grabbing a different brush. And I make sure that I introduce it to her first. And then she handled that pretty good. And again, this is on the right side, so the right side is still a little bit more of her protected side, but she's handling this really well, and I'm able to really get in there and brush the manure that she had on her side and actually brush all the way to her butt, which was really good. And she's contemplating how I think she feels about that. I think she likes it, but you can kind of just see just a little bit of worry. And then I'm going to go to the other side. And she's pretty good about this. So I was quite pleased with how she was about that. And then I wanted to give her a little bit of a spray with the fly spray again to help protect her from the bugs. And I'm having a chat with Megan, my working student. So I'm going to spray it a couple of times so she gets used to the spray sound. And again, show her the bottle. She seems okay with the spray sound, and then she handled it beautifully, like most of the Mustangs do. It's always surprising to people how good Mustangs are about fly spray, but they just really are. I feel like if you introduce it to them this way, like this way has worked the best for me, they understand it. And if they are a little bit unsure, instead of wasting your fly spray when I'm working with them, getting them used to the sound of it and the feel of touch of the mist, I will just use water in the bottle. And so I have an extra bottle of just water laying around. So if I need that, I can. But if they're accepting of it, then it goes pretty easily. And then I use the Espana detangler to put in her mane. It works really nicely. Make sure that stays nice and soft. And again, I was really pleased with her for just day 4, coming in the wash rack and handling that really well. And then we were going to head back out, and I was going to take her, see how she handles going out to her grass field for the first time. So again, she handles that going past the hose really well, and the other horses sticking their heads out. And then sometimes right here where the mats change, sometimes I have to be a little careful, but she handled that very nicely. And again, I like how soft she is, and she has a fair amount of energy when she's walking. She's definitely she's going somewhere. But she does respond to, if I have to give her a couple of little bumps on the halter, she'll respond and just soften up to it. But she's walking again really nicely and seems very happy, ears pricked, very curious about where we're going. Then I'm just going to give her a second ear while I have Megan close the gate for me. Kind of no need, as she's willing to just follow me and kind of hang out around here. And then she's heading off to go over. I think she spotted the hay pile, because she does love her hay, that one. Silly girl.